guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I was honestly hoping that I would have been one of the lucky ones to have gotten La Mania in the mail. Obviously, I don't have it. I was gonna like show y'all what it looks like because I have not seen any videos of what it looks like. And I signed up for it like, I don't know, not even an hour after the music video. So I was really hoping that I would get one, but obviously not. So, you know, if for whatever reason I do get one, I'll definitely unbox it on here, but I don't know, it doesn't look like I'm gonna be getting one. If nothing shows up in the next couple weeks, I'll talk about my opinions on it on another video. Just in case, I won't say anything about it yet. Anyway, so for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my absolute favorite concert moments. Now, I know I've done a video like 3 years ago of my favorite concert moments. I don't really like the way it turned out, and I've been to so many more concerts since then, and it's so old. You know, I was in my old apartment, and it's just kind of cringy, so I was like, I'll just, you know, make it again. Like, why not? As y'all know, I've been to so many concerts in the last, like, especially in the last, like, 5 years, I'd say, because that was when I was officially like on my own. I had my own money. I can choose to go where I want to go. I could, you know, buy airline tickets if I want to go somewhere else. And yeah, so I'm definitely more able to go to more stuff now. So I'll share with you guys my top 5 favorite concert moments. All right, let's get with number 5. Was back in 2016. It was Paris's first headlining tour. I got into Paris like right when Fall Out Boy announced Win Tour and said that Paris was opening for them. I'd heard of them before. I mean, like they were kind of all over AP and stuff for a little while, but I never really, you know, thought much about them because I just assumed they would be like just like a modern pop punk band like State Champs or, you know, The Story So Far, like, and nothing wrong with those bands, but I just like to hear something different, not some like recycled 2005 music. You know, no hate towards anybody who likes those bands, but that's just not my thing personally. So I never really, you know, went into Paris's discography, and then when Fall Out Boy announced they would be touring with them, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to a couple of their songs just to see what they sound like. And the first song I heard from Paris was My House, and I fell in love with it and basically just like jammed that whole album like constantly. And then their deluxe album of White Noise came out after a couple months of me getting into them, and You and I was on there, and I completely fell in love with them. So when I went to Win Tour, I was just excited to see Paris as Fall Out Boy because I was like, this band is amazing, and I was just really stoked on them. So when they announced their first ever US headlining tour, I was like, I definitely have to go. It was in San Antonio. I bought meet and greet upgrades because after buying Fall Out Boy meet and greets, I was like, these Paris ones are so cheap. So I bought those, and I went with my friend Max. He was like one of my best friends when I was in college. And, you know, we drove up there, and I got to meet Paris. The meet and greet was just so easy and relaxed and not so rushed as like the Fall Out Boy one was. Of course, like me being me, like when I met them, I was like, I saw you guys on tour with Fall Out Boy. It's like, why do I have to bring Fall Out Boy into everything? But, you know, that went great. Like, my picture turned out amazing. I'll post it up here, and you guys can see what it looked like. Meeting Paris was so awesome. They're such down-to-earth, amazing people. Then we got barricades since we had early entry, so we were in the front row, and the concert was amazing. Lynn actually recognized me during My House. I'll post a video of that in here. I'm assuming she recognized me from the meet and greet. And overall, that was just one of my favorite concert experiences ever. Like, the whole moment is just that whole day and how great it was. Definitely one of my favorite concerts ever.
up with all the chain and now I'm just
Number 4 was when I went to the AT&T Block Party Music Festival in Houston. The NCAA Final Four always has music festivals for, you know, just to get everyone hyped up for the basketball. And when I found out that Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco were going to be headlining the AT&T Music Festival, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was in Houston, and Houston's like 3 hours from me, and I was like, oh my god, like, I was so excited. And like winter was like in a week, and so then I found out I was gonna get to see Fall Out Boy like within like 2 weeks, like twice, and I was like freaking out. And the cool thing about these festivals is they're absolutely free. So like basically once they get to capacity, people can't go, but you don't have to buy a ticket or anything for it. So I'm like, I get to see 2 of my favorite bands for free. So, and the day when this went on, I was still in college, and I actually had an exam that morning, because like what I wanted to do was like drive, you know, to Houston really early in the morning so I could get a good spot in line, because I was afraid that, you know, if it's a free venue or a free concert and it's going to sell out really, really fast. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to get to see my favorite bands if I, you know, can't start driving until noon, you know. So thankfully, like, one of my best Fall Out Boy friends, Jordan, I'm sure all of you guys know her. I will link her channel in the eye as well. She is a huge Fall Out Boy fan. She lives in Houston, so she showed up like super early in the morning, I think at like 7 or 8 a.m. So then when me and my friend Max got there, it was around like 2 or 3 p.m. and she saved us a spot in line. So we had barricade for this show, and I'm sure all of you Fall Out Boy fans have seen the different songs or even the full thing on online, because they have such great quality videos of like Novocaine and 4th of July and Jetpack Blues that, you know, they're like the best quality you could find live online of those songs. So I'm sure all of you guys have seen those, and I got to see this live. Jordan actually is in like the little video of where the guy announces Fall Out Boy comes on, like she gets to talk on the microphone. You can see me like acting like a creep behind her. Like, I'll post that video in here.
Welcome back, everybody, to AT&T Block Party for the March Madness Music Festival. I am Stryker. Houston, are you ready? Jordan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I want to give Houston a shout out. You have been one of the most warm, excited, enthusiastic crowds I have ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, give me this hat.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Because this is Fall Out Boy.
But it's so funny that we got to like be there when they announced Fall Out Boy, like in the screen, and people who like knew my channel at the time were like, oh my god, that's you. And I'm like, yeah, that's really embarrassing. But because I, you know, when before Fall Out Boy comes on, I just act like a total freak. But anyway, it was such an amazing show. Like, I actually made eye contact with Patrick during Dance. I'll post that in here. Such an amazing show. I remember we were walking around downtown Houston until like 1 o'clock in the morning looking for their buses. You know, little did we know that, I think it was Pete, or it might have been Brendan, like put on their Snapchat story that they were in a plane together, like on their private jet. They'd probably been on there forever. We were like, why are we walking down here when they're not even here anymore? But I don't know. It was such an amazing show. Such an amazing show. Concert experience was when I was 13 and I went to the Young Wild Things tour for Fall Out Boy, Gym Class Heroes, Cute Is What We Aim For, and Plain White Tees. All of those bands are insanely talented. Plain White Tees, you know, had that big single back in like 2006, Hey There Delilah, you know, everybody was freaking out for that song. Gym Class Heroes is epic. You know, during Gym Class Heroes set, Patrick, you know, sang Clothes Off with Travi, and it was life. And this was a weird venue because like the entire venue was general admission. Like it had like a stadium, but like there was no assigned seats. And at the time, I was in the Overcast Kids Club. So, you know, and if you, when you were part of their fan club at the time, you could like, for different shows, you could like put in for like meet and greets or early entry. That's how like that would happen back then. And I was one of the lucky ones to actually get early entry. But my sister didn't get early entry, so early entry was just for me and one other person. And I went to this show with 2 of my friends, and my sister went with one of her friends, and my mom, obviously, because we were all like 13 years old, so my mom had to be like some sort of like chaperone. So basically, and my sister's friend was in a wheelchair, so it was just crazy. Like my sister and my mom ended up doing the early entry, and I was with my friends and my sister's friend in the wheelchair, like outside in the cold, you know, because this line like wrapped around since the entire venue was general admission. And I remember like, I was like, this is crazy. And, you know, it was so funny because we were so young that my mom didn't want us to be in the pit. So we were in the front row of the seats on Pete's side, and then there was the pit in the middle, and then, you know, seats all the way around basically. And like when we first got in there, everybody like ran to the pit. So for a good 20 minutes maybe, we were the only people in the seats in the entire venue while people were still being let in. I thought that was so funny. I was like, we're like the youngest Fall Out Boy fans ever because we're not allowed in the pit yet, but we got there early enough to be in the front. Like, what? Like, that's just so funny. But anyway, that show was amazing. They played so many awesome songs. I'll like link the set list over here somewhere so you guys can look at it. I don't think we'll ever hear that many amazing songs again. And this was the first show, like the first show I ever saw from Fall Out Boy was the Honda Civic tour back in 2007, and that was their first tour for Infinity on High. And this one was their second tour for Infinity on High, and I was into them 100%. Like I knew all of their songs off of their first 3 albums. The first time I saw them, I only knew hits, but then that's when I really got into them was during this tour. So this was the first concert of my life where I knew every single song. I was screaming to every single song. Like we were so close to them. It was such an amazing experience and definitely one of my favorite concert moments ever. Boys of Summer tour. It's not even the full day that makes this good because there's a lot of bad things that happen in this tour. Like I almost passed out during Wiz Khalifa's set because the heat index in the pit that day was 120 degrees, and it was horrible. And I don't know if you guys went to that tour, you'll know Wiz had like lots of flashing lights, and I was like dying, and I had to leave the pit. Like my sister and I were in like the 3rd row of the pit, and I had to leave because I thought I was gonna be sick. And thankfully I wasn't. I got like a drink and hung out and stuff. And then I was able to work my way back up into the pit, into the front. It was pretty miserable, to be honest. Like, even though Wiz has some good songs, and I do really respect him as an artist, that day was just terrible because I just felt horrible. But like, it was weird because like as soon as Fall Out Boy came on, I was like so happy and just so into it that I forgot that I was feeling bad. So this is one of my favorite concert moments just because it was the first time I'd ever seen Fall Out Boy that close to me. Like we were 3rd row in the pit. They were like right there, you know, like the one part, because we were right in front of Joe's side. So like the one part where, because they came out, they opened up with Sugar We're Going Down on that tour. And during the part where it was like the very beginning of the show and Patrick goes on the little stand, you know, and starts playing, he was like right here. And that was the closest I'd ever been to them in my entire life. And I don't even really remember it because I was in shock. I was like, oh my God, like they are so close to me. And then the next like craziest thing that happens was during Saturday, my sister and I were actually close enough to hold Pete's hand. I actually I found somebody in the pit that night that had a video of it, and I'll post it over here. You can see, like, as soon as Pete, like, he has his, you know, singing, he switches his mic into his other hand, and then he grabs my hand. And like, you could see, like, I'm so pale, and now it's my hand, and like, I never thought I would be one of those people to be able to hold Pete's hand during Saturday. It was insane. And my sister actually, like, got to hold, like, these part of his fingers too. So it was just such a great show to be that close to Fall Out Boy and have that moment happen. And after all that, I was like randomly bought more tickets to Boys of Summer to see them in Vegas, like, the next week, because I'm obsessed. But I don't know. It was such a great show. Concert experience moment thing is Wintour. This is the tour where I got to meet Fall Out Boy. I will post a video in the eye of my experience meeting Fall Out Boy, but it was like, you know, one of those milestone moments for me, you know, getting to see them up close, getting to hug Patrick. You know, I wrote a note for Patrick, and we weren't allowed to give it to them. But, you know, I gave it to his security. Who knows if he actually got it, but I like to think that he did. But I don't know. It was just it was so rushed and so fast. But just getting to see them that close, and we got to go again. Like, the picture didn't take or something the first time. They had some kind of technical problem. So as we were leaving, the security was like, no, you guys need to come back. So then we had to come back. I was like wiping my tears. Like, I had to come back and meet them again after, like, all my emotion was, like, up here. It was insane. And, like, just the fact, like, it only been like 5 minutes, you know, in between, like, our two, like, times meeting them. They were like, they knew us again. So it was like, they recognized us after 5 minutes. So I know that's dumb, but it was, I don't know. And the concert itself was amazing. Like, I got to see Paris. I got to see my all-time favorite band, Fall Out Boy. The set list for that tour was amazing. Like, that set list with Disloyal Order of Water Buffaloes, The Takeover, The Breaks Over, Hum Hallelujah, Novocaine, Jetpack Blues, like, some of my favorites of all time. You know, Save Rock&Roll. Like, I wish I would have went to more Wintour shows, because that set list was just so great. Overall, that has to be my favorite ever concert moment, experience, day ever. I loved going to Wintour. I wish I could relive meeting Fall Out Boy for the rest of my life, and I'm hoping I don't have meet and greets for Chicago. I know my friends Shay and Courtney do. They're gonna be meeting they're gonna be meeting Pete and Andy, which is cool. And I know if Patrick would have been doing the meet and greet, I would have bought the meet and greet, or I think if all four of them would have been doing it, I would have bought a meet and greet. Because I feel like just meeting P and Andy is not as fun as meeting the whole band. So I'm hoping, because they said there's going to be more surprises for Chicago, and I'm hoping that Joe and Patrick will do something too, or the whole band will do something together. And, because, you know, honestly, like, Joe and Patrick are, like, my two favorites in the band. So the fact that they weren't going to be in the meet and greet, I was like, I don't want to spend my money on that. But, you know, if I got, like, if it would have come up in my cart, I would have got them, and they never did, so that's fine. But it's just not a big deal. But if I ever had the chance to meet all four of them again, I totally would. I'm hoping that they, like I said, I'm just repeating myself at this point, but I'm really hoping they do something else in Chicago. It sucks they haven't been doing anything on this Mania tour so far, but Maybe they're just tired and taking a break, or it could be, you know, high insecurity. Like, we don't know. I'm just glad I got my opportunity to meet them on Wind Tour, because it was their last time they ever did meet and greets. Thank God, like, I did it. Like, I almost did it on Boys of Summer, but I didn't because I was afraid of meeting them. Like, for the longest time, I was terrified of meeting them. But don't be afraid to meet them. They're the nicest, sweetest guys ever. But yeah, I'm so glad I did it at least once if I never get to do it again. But anyway, so that's my top 5 concert moments, concert experiences, whatever you want to call it. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new for more music-related content, Fall Out Boy related content, a bunch of different kinds of content. Next month I'm going to be seeing Paris and San Antonio, so I'll be doing a concert vlog for that, and I'll be doing just a bunch of more random videos here and there. I'm going to try and get at least once a week again, because, you know, my job's been a little bit more crazy lately, so I haven't really had a lot of time, but I am going to be trying and doing once a week, probably every Wednesday, just because it's my one day off a week. So I'll try and upload every Wednesday for you guys. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys are having a great day. Let me know down in the comments some of your favorite concerts or concert experiences, concert moments, whatever. I'd really love to know. I hope you guys are all having an amazing week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.